So in last class, we have started with React, right? So we have understood what is React, what is library. We have discussed purpose of React, and then we have seen drawbacks with HTML and CSS, sorry, HTML and JavaScript to create UI. This is what we have discussed. And we have understood why we are moving towards React. To create UI. This is what we have understood. So in today's session, let's understand how to create UI components or user interface with React.js. Now, if you remember in last class, we have created button and ordered list using HTML and JavaScript. Now today, let's create same button and ordered list with the React. Let's create button and ordered list with the React. So let's see how to create. So first, let's see how to create button. Now to create one simple button in React, you have to follow certain process. In that process, the first step is create HTML file and add basic code of HTML. So what we need to do, we have to go to our VS Code, create one HTML file. I will say React button.html. And then we have to add our basic code. Start with doc type, HTML tag, head section, body section. This is the basic code. This is the step one we have to do. So I will take this screenshot and I will add here. So the first step is creating HTML file and adding basic code. Second step, add script tag inside the body tag. So we have to add script tag inside the body tag. So this is our body tag. Inside this, add one script tag. This is the step 2. This is our step. So we have added script tag inside the body tag. Step 3. Integrate React.js with HTML document. Third step is integrate React.js with HTML document. Now, before explaining you how to integrate React.js with HTML document, you guys tell me the answers for few questions. Now, my first question is, what is React? What is React, guys? What will be your answer for that? If someone asks you, what is React? What is your answer? Anyone? What is React?
React is a free.
React is a library. This is what I have
React is
explained last class, right?
predefined libraries.
It's just a library. What is library? What is library?
A collection of predefined functions, objects,
Library is a
and
JavaScript
classes.
file. It is a file. which contains set of predefined functions, object and classes. Those functions, object and classes are not called library. That JavaScript file is called library, which contains those predefined functions, object and classes. So library is nothing but JavaScript file. It means indirectly we can say that React is a JavaScript file. Now tell me how to integrate a JavaScript file with HTML document. How to integrate any JavaScript file with HTML document?
By using script tag.
That's it. You have to take one script tag. You have to add src attribute. And here you have to pass the address or location or path of that JavaScript file. Now this JavaScript file is created by React developers. Now React developer knows where they kept this file. So if you want the access of this file, what you guys can do, you can go to their official website. That is legacy.reactjs.org. Click on docs. Then click on CDN links. Here on the right side, you have some links. Here you have to click on CDN links. Scroll down. And here you copy this link. You copy this link and paste inside your SRC. So this is react.development.js file. Now this file somewhere they have kept on the internet, and the location or path of the file is this one. So this is the entire location and path of the file. And file name is react.development.js. So this is what the integration of React with HTML. So very simple integration. This is the simple integration of React with your HTML document. So I will take this screenshot and I will add here. Now this is a JavaScript file. This file contains a lot of predefined objects, functions, and classes. Now in this file, react.development.js file, in this file, there is one object called React. There is one object something called React element. Something called React element. So whenever you call react.create element, it will return one React element. So that React element we can hold in one variable. So the flow is something like this. As a developer, you will use predefined object and functions to create React element. So how we are using predefined functions and object to create DOM element? In the same way, as a developer, we are going to use these predefined functions and objects to create React element, This React element, we are going to load in the DOM. And then your user interface will be on the screen. So as a developer, you have to use predefined object and functions. You have to create React element. Once you create React element, this React element, you have to load. You have to load in the DOM. You have to load in the DOM. How to load in the DOM, we will see later on. First, we will see how to create React element. So to create React element, React is providing us one predefined function called React. The predefined function called React. In that, sorry, not function, object. It is providing us one predefined object called React. In that object, there is a predefined function called create element. So if you call this function, internally it will create one React element and it will return that React element to us. Now, which React element you want to create, that you have to tell to this create element function using its argument. So in our case, we want to create button. So we are going to tell to the create element, create react button element. How to tell? For that, create element will take the argument, first argument, that is your button, nothing but tag name. So you are telling to this create element, create one button react element. Second argument, right now pass null. Third argument, inside the button opening and closing tag, what content you want to add. On the button, what content you want to add, it should be your third argument. Right now, I just want to add a content called React button. That's it. This is how we create the React element. So to create a React element, we have to use React, a predefined object coming from this file. In that object, there is a function called create element. Just call that function. That function will take 3 arguments. The first argument is tag name. Second argument is null. Third argument is what content you want to show in between opening and closing tag. Nothing but children you have to pass. Now it will create React element. And we are creating button. So I will say it has a button React element. Now once button React element is created, we have to load in the DOM. So to load React element in the DOM, we have another library, that is React DOM. So before that, let me add here documentation. So the fourth step is create React element. So to create React element, this is the code we have to write. Now, fifth step is once the React element is created, load React element in the DOM. Now, how to load React element in the DOM? So to load React element in the DOM, so for this, integrate React DOM library with HTML document. So what you need to do, integrate React DOM library with HTML document. How to integrate? For that, again, you have to take script tag, add src, go to the same website, copy the second link now. Copy the second link and paste here. So we have integrated React DOM.development.js. It is another library. Now this library provides one object called React DOM. So React DOM, right, silent. So React DOM is an object coming from this file. Inside this object, there is a function called render. Call that function. Now to this function called render, you have to pass 2 arguments. The first argument is your React element. Second argument is inside the DOM where you want to add this React element. If you remember in the DOM concept, I have shown you DOM tree. So inside that DOM tree, where you want to add this React element. So right Now I want to add my React element exactly under this body. I have to pass second argument as the DOM element of this body. Second argument should be the DOM element of this body. So how to get the DOM element of this body? For that, we are going to use document dot query selector of body. So basically, we are saying to React DOM, take this React element, render inside this body element. Nothing but take this React element, add inside this body element. Now, if you go back to the browser and if you load, you will be able to see one button on the screen. So one button is visible. Now, just to create a button, this many steps we have to follow. So first, integrate React DOM library with HTML document. So for that, we can take this screenshot. Once integrated, second step, access render function from React DOM object and pass React element and DOM element as an argument. So what we need to do now? We have to take the screenshot of this. And here we have to paste it. This is what we have to do. So first, we have to create HTML file and add the basic code. Then second step, add the script tag. Third step, integrate React.js with HTML document. Fourth step, create React element. We have to create React element. Fifth step, we have to integrate React DOM. Then we have to add React element in the DOM. And final step, load HTML file in the browser. These are the steps we have to do to create one UI component in React. So have a look on this. Have a look on first step. Then second step. Third step. Fourth step. Fifth step. And sixth step. And finally, you will get this result. See, on the content, on the button, we are showing some content. If I right click, go to the inspect. Under body, you have this button. So this button is created. Create any let's assume that I want to create H1. How to create H1? The first step is create HTML file. Second step, add basic code. Third step, add one script tag in the body. Fourth step, integrate React library. How to integrate? Take script tag, add src attribute, and here you have to pass that link. So from where you will get, go to the browser, search for legacy.reactjs.org. You will land on this official website. Click on docs. You will land on this getting started page. Then on the right side, you have some links. Click on CDN link. Scroll down, copy this link. Copy this link. Go back, add here. Now this is called integration of React with HTML. Now in this file, there is one object called React. So React is a predefined object coming from this file. That's why directly we are able to access. In this object, there is a function called create element. So call that function. Now we know that React.create element will return something. So let's hold that in one variable. I am holding in one variable called h1. Now which React element you want to create? We want to create h1. So the first argument should be the tag name. Second argument should be null. What you want to show inside opening and closing tag of this h1. I just want to show one message called welcome to React.js. That's it. Now here inside this h1, we are storing React element. So I will say h1 React element. So technically, what is React element? What is React element? So technically, React element is a predefined object. React element is a predefined object which represents UI component, So what is DOM element? DOM element is also object which represents some UI component. In the same way, React element is also predefined object only which represents UI component. Now to create this React element, we have to use a predefined function called react.createElement function. Now this function takes 3 arguments. The first argument is tag name. Second argument should be object or null. What is the use of that? We will see. Right now we are passing null. And third argument should be children. Children means something which is present in between opening and closing tag. That is called children. Now this children can be okay. This children can be normal content. It can be one element. It can be multiple elements also. So in our last example, children was content that we wanted to show on the button. It can be another element also. It can be collection of elements also. So here I have created h1. Now this h1 I need to load in my browser. Nothing but this h1 I want to load in my DOM. So for that, we have to take the help of one more library that is React.DOM. Go to the same website, copy the next link. And paste here. Now from this file, from this JavaScript file, there is one object called React.DOM. So when you are using React.DOM, make sure DOM, all the letters are in uppercase. React R is in uppercase. Now React.DOM.render you have to do. And now this render function will take two arguments. The first argument is your React element. Second argument is where you want to load. I want to load in the body only. So I will say document dot query selector of body. So we are saying that this H1 React element should load in the body, inside the body. That is the main. Now if I load this, you will see that one H1 is created. If I right click, go to the inspect. Now here in directly we have H1. Welcome to React.js. Like this, you can create any number of UI components. Right now we are creating only single component. I can create multiple components also. Let's see how to create that multiple components also. So before I move to the next example, I just wanted to know whether you have understood or not how to create React element. Let me know on the chat, yes, no, or confused. Okay. Now we have to create ordered list, guys. I have to create ordered list. Okay, now in that ordered list, I have to create 3 LIs, 3 list items I have to create. So let's see how to create. Order.html. So start with the doc type, HTML, head, and body. Okay, now I want to create ordered list. It means first we have to create OL. So before that, let's integrate this both React and React.DOM. I will copy from here, I will paste here. Now first I need to create OL, where OL equals to React.create element. Now this I have to add in the script tag, right? First let me add script tag. Inside that, let me write this. React.create element. So here I need to pass 3 arguments. The first argument is OL. Second argument is null. We will discuss about the null in next example. And then comma. I need to add the children for OL. So can you guys tell me for OL, what is the children? For OL element, what will be the children, guys? So if I create here order.html, in HTML we create like this, right? OL, then 3 LIs means we'll create like this. In that HTML, CSS, JS. This is how we create ordered list. So in this case, for this OL, what is the children? Yes. How many LIs? 1 or 3? Yes, 3 LIs. So all these 3 LIs are called children. Okay, now for this OL, There are more than one children. So right now what I will do, I will just go with one LI only. Initially, I will go with one LI. Then I will show you how to add 2, 3 LIs. So let's assume that for our OL, we have only one children. And that children is not a content. Now this is another element. So what we need to do now, go to the code. Now here we have to create LI. Here we have to create LI. How to create LI? Again, react dot create element we have to write. In that we have to write LI, null. Yes, now for this LI, what is the children, guys? For this first LI, what is the children?
HTML.
Yes. If you see here, for first LI, the children is content. That is HTML. So if you need to add the content, then here the third argument should be string. Like this, we have to write the code. See now how complex it is feeling. React.create element, first OL, null. Now third children is one more element. So we are creating that element. And then we have to use React DOM. Selector of body. Now if I load, you will see one.html. Suppose if I want 2 LIs, like this, I want 2 LIs. It means for this OL now, for this OL, we have 2 childrens. We have 2 childrens, both are LIs only. So if you have more than one child, in that case, what you need to do here, the third argument should be array. When you have to take third argument as an array, if you have more than one child, then you have to take array as a third argument. And now in this array, the first element should be your first LI, nothing but you have to create. And second element should be one more LI. And this time I will add CSS. Now if you see, we have an array. In that we are creating 2 children. Now if you go back here and if you refresh, you will get here CSS. If you want to add one more child, then here you have to add JS. Now go back here. Now see, you got that ordered list. You got here ordered list. Now see this, like this code we are writing in React to create one OL with 3 LIs. This is the code we are writing. This code we are writing in React.js. And this code we are writing in HTML. This is the code in HTML. Now, if you compare these two code, which code looks easy? If you compare React and HTML, which looks easy?
HTML.
But yesterday I told creating UI in React is very similar to HTML. It is like HTML only. It's very simple in like HTML. So by seeing this code, are you getting the feel of creating UI like HTML, or you are getting the feel of creating UI like JavaScript by seeing this code? Which feel you are getting, guys?
JavaScript.
Yes. Now by seeing this, we will feel like JavaScript. But you will say, sir, you told it's like HTML, but it doesn't seems like HTML, it seems like JavaScript. Yes. So initially when React was created, people started creating code in this way. So they started feeling React is very complex because it looks exactly like JavaScript. It is not giving us the feel of that HTML. So every developer started feeling that. Then by seeing the complaints of all the developers, React came with one solution. Now what React is saying, as a developer creating React element is very complex. So let's do one thing. Let's not create the React element directly now. So React gave one solution. What is that solution? React is saying that as a developer, right now you are creating React element. And now this process looks very complex. For a developer, creating React element is complex. So to overcome this problem, React is saying, as a developer, you create something called JSX element. As a developer, you create JSX element, and creating JSX element is very simple. Now this JSX element will be taken by a compiler called Babel. There is a Babel compiler. So this Babel compiler will take this JSX element and it will convert this JSX element into React element. And once it is converted into React element, then give this React element to the React DOM. Then React DOM will add this React element in the DOM. And then UI will be visible on the screen. In that way, UI will be visible on the screen. UI will be visible on the screen. So as a developer, what we need to do now, we have to create JSX element. Then this JSX element we have to give to Babel. Babel will take care of converting that JSX into React element. Once it is converted into React element, give that to React DOM. React DOM will add in the DOM and then UI will be visible. So how to create this JSX element? So this JSX stands for JavaScript and XML. It stands for JavaScript and XML. So what is JSX? It is just syntax extension in JavaScript. It is just a syntax extension in JavaScript. In other words, I can say it is a new way to create UI components in JavaScript. It is a new way. It is a new way. If you want to create a button, in JavaScript with old technique, then you have to write the code something like this. Document dot create element of button. This is the old technique of creating the button in JavaScript. The new technique of creating the button in JavaScript using JSX technique is something like this. Create a variable, and to that variable, you assign this code. That's it. This is the traditional way of creating the button in JavaScript. This is the JSX way to create the button in JavaScript. Now here, this code is called JSX code. This code is called JSX code. So JSX code looks very similar to your HTML. No need to learn separately JSX. Just you have to use your HTML knowledge. 95% JSX and HTML are same. Just there are 5% difference in between JSX and HTML. So this is button UI component. We call it as a JSX element. This is called JSX element. The only thing what we have to do is this JSX element we have to assign to one variable. That's it. That is the only extra thing we have to do. Apart from that, we can use our HTML knowledge. This simple is JSX. So JSX stands for JavaScript and XML. It is just syntax extension in JavaScript. Nothing but it is a new way to create UI components in JavaScript. This is the old approach. It is a new approach. It's a new approach. Now in React, we are going to follow this technique. We are going to follow this technique. If I want to create button, I will say JSX button. So configuration part is same. First create HTML file, add basic code. Add script tag. Integrate React and React DOM. Integrate React and React DOM. Now, apart from React and React DOM, we have to integrate Babel also. We have to integrate Babel also because Babel is a person who will compile our JSX element into React elements. So we have to integrate Babel here. So how to integrate Babel? For that, go to Babel website. That is babeljs.io. So Babel is a JavaScript compiler. Go to babeljs.io. Click on setup. Click on setup. Click on in the browser. Scroll down under this usage. Copy this script tag. Copy this script tag and paste after React DOM. Next, copy this attribute type equals to text/Babel and add that attribute to your script tag, which is in the body. That's it. These are the two extra configuration we have to do. We have to integrate Babel and we have to add this attribute. Now here, I can create var button equals to, just write your HTML button code. Here I will say JSX button. That's it. This is how we create the button using JSX. Now give this button to React DOM. So React DOM code will not change. So here we can give button, comma, document dot query selector of body. That's it. Now load this. You should be able to see one button on the screen. See, one button is visible on the screen. So inside script tag, if you are writing anything like HTML, then that code is called JSX. That code is called JSX. If I want to create OL, I will do the same thing. I will create HTML file, add basic code, add body, add script tag. And to script tag, add type equals to text/Babel. So basically, we are telling to the browser, in this script tag, we are writing JSX code which need to be compiled by Babel. That is the meaning of type equals to text/Babel. Now inside this head, you have to integrate React, you have to integrate React DOM, you have to integrate Babel. So from previous file, I will copy all these three script tags. I will paste here. Now inside this script tag, I want to create OL. How to create OL? Take var OL equals to add parenthesis. Add parenthesis. Inside this parenthesis, write your HTML OL tag. Just use your HTML knowledge. So how we create OL in HTML? Just use that knowledge. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Now use React DOM dot render pass OL comma document dot query selector of body. Now load this. You will be able to see ordered list. So what I have done, just written OL tag assigning to one variable. And then that OL I am adding same story. Now which code looks easy? This code looks easy. Or old approach looks easy. Which approach looks easy, guys? 1 or 2? This one is 1. This one is 2. So this approach looks easy or this approach looks easy?
First
Okay.
approach.
First approach looks easy. Now, which approach is giving you the feel of HTML? First or second?
First one.
First. Okay. So in React.js, we are going to follow this approach. We will never follow this approach. Because as our UI become complex, this approach will be like hell for us. This approach looks hell. So yesterday I have given one assignment, create one nav bar using HTML, CSS. Then I told same task create with JavaScript. Now today's assignment, create same nav bar using React.createElement approach and then create same nav bar using this one, JSX approach. CSS will not change. In React also, if you want to add CSS, you can go with internal styling or you can go with external styling. So CSS will not change. Okay. So today around 15-20 questions will be released, guys, on these concepts. On React element, I will release nearly 15 to 20 concepts, 15 to 20 questions. Now everybody has to solve that questions and you have to submit by Monday. Okay. So tomorrow I won't take session on React. I will give you time to do that assignment. So nearly 15 to 20 questions I am releasing. So everybody has to sit and finish that. So you have totally 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.